In a very short time, sometimes overnight, a herd of wild boars can turn an entire field into ground that looks as if it has been plowed. Rows of young crops are uprooted, and the soil is churned up as though a massive plow had passed through during the night. For farmers, this is not just a loss of crops, it is the destruction of months of hard work in a matter of moments. The speed of this devastation has led many agricultural and environmental managers to ask an important question: how can these animals be controlled quickly while still preserving the balance of nature? At first glance, the pig brig net trap appears quite simple, resembling a large net set up in the middle of an open area. In reality, however, behind that structure lies a carefully calculated system designed to control wild boars in a safe and responsible way. Rather than relying on extreme measures, this system uses intelligent design to take advantage of the animal's natural behavior. The installation process begins with setting up the load-bearing frame. Steel posts are driven deep into the ground at carefully calculated angles, forming a stable structure. Heavy-duty metal clamps and high-tensile straps keep the entire frame secure even under significant pressure. Over this frame, a specialized outdoor net is evenly spread. This type of net is specially designed, strong enough to withstand impact, yet flexible enough to absorb force instead of resisting it. The lower edge of the net is firmly secured to the ground to prevent shifting when the wild boars react. The effectiveness of the system does not come from brute strength, but from the combination of thoughtful design, proper placement, and precise timing of activation. For many farmers, this system is more than just a technical device. It is a way to protect the results of an entire season's labor with only a few hours of careful preparation. After the installation is completed, the trap is not activated immediately. Instead, the net is raised high, leaving an opening so that animals can enter and exit naturally. Bait is placed deep in the center of the area. The goal of this stage is to create familiarity. At first, the wild boars usually approach very cautiously. But after entering the area several times in search of food without encountering danger, their caution gradually fades. This familiarization stage often lasts several days and plays a very important role. It allows the entire herd to feel that the place is safe, thereby increasing the chances of effective control once the system is activated. Once the herd has become accustomed to the location, the net is lowered until it touches the ground. To reach the bait, the animals must gently push against the net to slip inside. However, the special design of the system makes entering easy while making it almost impossible to get back out. This is the one-way mechanism, the key factor behind the trap's effectiveness. Under pressure, the net reacts very differently from rigid traps. Instead of resisting the force, the net bends and absorbs the energy. If a wild boar charges forward, the net will flex downward and guide the animal back toward the center of the area. As a result, the structure is less likely to be damaged, while also reducing stress on the herd. Managing wild boar populations on a large scale plays an important role in maintaining environmental stability. These animals reproduce quickly and adapt extremely well to many different living conditions. When their numbers increase too rapidly, they can place heavy pressure on agricultural land, vegetation, and even native wildlife species. The effectiveness of the net trapping system is not measured solely by the number of animals controlled. More importantly, it helps reduce damage to crops and limits pressure on the natural environment. When used properly, this method provides a practical solution for restoring balance to ecosystems affected by uncontrolled population growth.
In a small village in the southern United States, the nights are no longer as quiet as they once were. Wild boars have begun to move in, tearing up fields, bending wooden fences, and leaving fresh tracks right beside the homes where people live. But this time, the villagers chose a different approach. Instead of reacting the old way with scattered and short-term measures, they made a new decision together, to build a shared control system for the entire village. This system was designed to guide the movement of wild boars and reduce long-term conflict with wildlife. This time, the question was no longer, how many wild boars can we catch? But how to ensure the entire village could sleep peacefully again. The biggest change was not the equipment, but the mindset. The goal of the system was not to catch as many boars as possible, but to break their habit of moving toward the village. The focus shifted from reaction to prevention. Instead of placing traps in areas already heavily damaged, control structures were positioned in transition zones, places where wild boars usually slow down when moving from the forest toward farmland. Here, they reduce their speed, observe their surroundings, and assess the environment before choosing their next direction. These are the critical points in their travel routes. Even a small change here can influence the movement of an entire herd. For that reason, each structure is not considered a separate trap, but part of a broader control network surrounding the village. Effective control begins with strategy, not tools. Once the system was established, residents began using bait to attract the wild boars. During the early stage, no traps were activated. Everything remained unchanged for several nights, allowing the boars to approach, observe, and gradually become familiar with the structures.
Come on. Load up. Dusty. Come on. Come on.
The cameras installed were not meant to count animals, but to track how they move, how long they stay, and how the group responds to the environment. This data helps managers understand wild boar behavior and make decisions based on observation rather than guesswork or instinct. By avoiding rushed intervention, the system operates according to natural behavior instead of forcing outcomes. When animals do not feel threatened, their true behavior becomes visible. There is no sudden blockade and no aggressive driving away. Instead, subtle adjustments gradually reduce how often wild boars move deeper toward the village, guiding them back to their natural areas. For the wild boars, these are simply different choices within their environment. But for humans, it is a way of guiding behavior without increasing stress or unnecessary risk. The entire system functions as a unified structure, driven by data, timing, and coordination between people. A system is only truly effective when every part moves in the same rhythm.
Yep.
By the next morning, the village slowly returns to its familiar rhythm. There are no new tracks on the ground and no new damage to fields or homes. Life begins to stabilize again. In wildlife management, long-term solutions rarely come from direct confrontation. They come from understanding animal behavior, using data, and applying responsible guidance strategies. Peace does not come from how many animals are captured in a single night, but from creating an environment where people and nature can coexist without conflict.
There you go. Yep.
go, let's go. Yep. There you go.
If you found this story interesting, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to explore more real stories about life and nature.